Hi guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you guys my flip through of my 6x8 stories album, or some people say craft the story. Basically, this story album was sort of a idea, I guess you'd call it, that Allie Edwards came up with, and a lot of people do them using the Allie Edwards story kits, which is what I mainly used in mine. There are a few pages where I went and used other products and other kits, but they're mostly Allie's kits. If you Instagram hashtag craft the story, you will see all kinds of other people that do the story kits and what they do with them and how they do their albums. So I had a lot of ups and downs with this project in general. Like, I would go months where I wouldn't even touch it, and then I would come back and do a whole bunch at once. And just the process of it, there was some different things. There was things I liked about it, things that I didn't like about it. In the end, I decided that I do want to go ahead and do a volume 2, but I'm going to do it a little bit different than I did the first one, just to try to keep my interest a little better. And I love Allie's kits. Her story kits are great, but I find like some kits I will use like the whole entire kit, like the word or whatever the theme of it is, just works really well. And then other ones, at least for me, I find more difficult to use. So that's a part of why I'm going to change how I've been doing this a little bit as well. But yeah, so I'll get into the flip through and try not to ramble too much here. So I did this nice little title page. It says Our Stories, and I got that stamping repetitive idea from Crystal. Her last name starts with an I. I will not pronounce it because I won't pronounce it right, but I'll try to link something below that you can watch her channel as well, because she does the most amazing story albums, and I got a lot of my ideas off of her, honestly. So this was just the beginning. I stamped the date, like the month and the year of when I started telling the stories. So some of these are older stories, and that was another issue with this project. I am more of like a chronological scrapbooker, so doing these out of order was like way out of my comfort zone, and I struggled with that for quite a while. But yeah. So anyway, this went from, I started in October of 2020 and then went the whole way to January of 2022. So it took me about 2 years to actually fill this up. And like I said, I took long pauses where I just didn't have, you know, the inspiration or whatever. But I'll get into the stories here. If you want to know more about that, you can always send me questions or comments or whatever. And if you follow me on Instagram, you can send me messages, and I'll talk to you about if you want to know about my process and my ups and downs with this. But anyway, so this first one, I believe, used the Come Together, or no, Connected. This was called Connected. And under all of these, like, you can see these circles have like this heart Brad. Underneath is a photo from each year, from each kind of like story that I wrote about here, which these were just little stories. But basically they were me and my husband's like first, I think this was our first year of dating. So like I did the first year, and then I went through 10 years, which at the time when I did this, we were together for 10 years. So it worked out really good. This year will be 11 years, I believe. So yeah, that is a neat little story there. I won't try to say too much about all of them, or this will be a super long video, but this one was about being pregnant, and I used one of the story kits there and did a little story. This was a wedding story, so like this, we got married back in 2015. And like the pregnancy thing, I got pregnant back in 2017. So even though I started the album in 2020, some of these stories were older. This one was actually one of the last ones I did with the glow kit. Allie's glow kit. I did a whole bunch of pages using that kit. That kit was one of those that really worked well for me. So here was one of the wedding ones. Here was another one with the glow kit. This was my maternity photos, so I just like told kind of a different story on that aspect. And then another story of the glow kit was after that we had our little guy, it had this afterglow story card, and I thought that worked well with the, you know, having the baby and everything. So there's that. These were based on the pandemic, was just some writing, some journaling about what was going on in the world. Had a mask photo here. Didn't ever print one for 2021. I'm not even sure if I have one. I just didn't like taking pictures with the masks. I don't know. Just wasn't my thing, I guess. This was the comfort kit, and I used my bed, and this, I love my bed and all that. Here was one of those gaps where I had nothing to go here. And that did happen a couple of times, but like I said, I have an idea about how I can get around that for the next album. I'm going to do it a little different. These were just a story about my little guy, and I think I mixed some of the kit and some like paper from my stash to do this one. And then this one was another, I think this was the Taking Action kit. This was my and my husband's 5-year wedding anniversary, so it was about a trip we took for our 5th anniversary. Here was a fall one that I used with like hip kit stuff, I believe. So this had no alley stuff. And this was all about some fall pictures I took with my little guy. And I can see this was before I got my new printer. And for some reason it printed that really odd. Like, we look super pale, and I don't think we were that pale. That picture just turned out odd for some reason. Here was one about books. I think this was a lot of Studio Calico stuff that I used to tell this story. Fireside, this was another one using the glow kit. So I used that glow kit pretty good, and that was the last section of stories I told in 2022 was all from that glow kit. And this was just about bonfires and how we kind of like to do that kind of thing. This one, I don't remember the kit, but I know I have that big thankful. I'm not sure if that was in the kit or not. I think it was, yeah. Here was the comfy and cozy kit, which just some things about the house, my cat, and then me and the little guy snuggling. If you're wondering, since I told you about, you know, the pregnancy and baby photos, my little guy is almost 4. He's like over 3.5 now, so that's how long I've been working on this. But anyway, here's the Hope story I did with a Hope kit, and this was about a Christmas light show that they do locally. It's a local house in a couple towns over, but you know, pretty close to our area, where they do like a fundraiser, and all the money is donated to like a family in need every year. So that was a good thing to write about, especially with 2020 being such a tough year. Then I had another gap here, and this is where we went into 2021, I believe, because I have this card that says it has to be better than 2020, right? A little family story there. Here was a story about friends and our little group of friends that we have got close with, and how we connect with them and stuff. Here was a story of home. I think this one was using some Citrus Twist products, if I remember. And then this one was the ampersand kit, which I really like that kit too. I just love the colors in that. And then I think I paired it with possibly a Cocoa Daisy paper, but I did a lot of stamping and really only used those and signs from that kit. But I did like I am and then you are for me and my husband, and just like kind of words. And then here was a photo of 2021 in springtime, and I just did a little journaling about how I don't consider spring to be my favorite holiday, but I do love when the weather gets warm. So there is my album. That is my first volume, and like I said, you know, there's a little gap there. I probably could have put a little bit more in there, but I was just done. Like, this project took me so long. For 2 years I've been working on it, and it's just, I don't know. I had ups and downs with it, so I decided just to move on, get into the next album, and I have a little bit of plans and changes that'll hopefully make the next one a little bit more fun for me and make it go a little better. And not sure how it's going to go. It might not be as many old stories. We'll just see. I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of planning out the details in my head, but that is my first one. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy. I'm also doing a story album just for my son, so I have a separate one that's just stories about him. And again, I'm struggling with keeping up with that one because I started it so late that I've been doing all these stories from when he was like a baby and like a year old and 2 years old, that I'm struggling to do like the stories of now because it's going to be all out of order, and I'm such a chronological person with scrapbooking that I'm not sure how I want to approach that. So yeah, let me know if you have any ideas, but I'll stop rambling, and thank you guys for watching again. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I gave you guys some ideas and some inspiration, and I will see you all next time. Bye!